All right, so we're getting ready to start the water. If you all want a reference, they're up here on the corner of my desk. I forgot to pass them out. We're going to begin with the little mountainy color. And in order to mix our mountainy color, I've got brown and then blue and then white, more blue and white than brown. I'm going to take a little bit of the blue and mix it into the brown, but leave most of the blue over to the side so that I can use it for the water. So it makes kind of a neutrally sort of a gray. Got a whole puddle of this going. And I'm not going to worry about mixing it super well because, as you can see, water is a streaky tone. And because the water is a streaky tone, you don't necessarily need to have your whole thing all mixed up together really well because it's streaky. Now, after I get this big base mixed up, I'm going to scoot a little bit over and take a little bit of my white and mix my white into just a little bit of it with that same sort of idea that there's a streaky base, and so it doesn't necessarily need to be mixed really well and even, just kind of put together. So now we're going to use the round brushes, the new brushes that we haven't used yet. And you're going to, as we did before, get them a little bit wet, but then wipe them off so that they've been wet, but they're not dripping wet so it doesn't water down your paint. And mine had a little thing hanging on the end, that's what that was. So I've got my brush and it's been dipped in the water, and I'm going to start with this neutrally gray color. And I need to get kind of the darks that are near the mountain and get the areas that I haven't been able to get really close to my mountains with my water paint yet, my watercolors. So I'm just kind of getting in close. So you have to look at your own picture and see where you need your crisp edges. This is a really see-through paint because I haven't put any of the, I'm not using the white part of it, just the dark part. And the dark blue and the brown are both pretty see-through, which is cool because it'll let the white that we've put on here show through. And we'll still have some of that streakiness, which we're going to add in a little bit more of the streakiness in just a minute after we're done putting in the shadow. But I'm just looking at my reference for where the shadow is and getting it painted kind of up close so that I can get that shadow and the dark. When I was looking at our references as compared to our paintings, the references looked like a much cleaner, like very crystalline sort of water, and the references, it looks more normal. So I'm just kind of painting in here to get it closer and to adjust the tone. All right, so now I've got this closer paint where I've got my little edge all taken care of, and I think it's working pretty well. Let me pull it down a little bit. And then now I'm going to go in with the part that I mixed with a little bit of white. It's dried up a little bit, so I'm putting some water in it. So I mixed a little bit of that neutrally color with some white, and it dried up a little, but I'm just going to go in and paint it in kind of close in little stripes, kind of like joops. am struggling a bit to paint around this cup. And just look at your reference for where these should go. Get a little bit more white. Okay, and then guys, I think it's gonna be time to bust out my the little boar's hair brush, because this isn't making the wave things that I want. So I've got kind of a layer of neutrally going on here, and I'm getting the blue back in, but I'm not enjoying the way that the round brush is painting the water. I did need it so that I could cut in close to those mountains. I absolutely needed it to get in close to the mountains. But you can't beat this hog's hair brush for painting the water so that it looks like water. So I'm gonna go over it with my paints. I've got this little group down here, and just kind of like we did when we did the stipple on the mountain, like the grassy tones, we're gonna get a little bit of the gray and a little bit of the dark and a little bit of the white and a little bit of the blue, so that we have a whole bunch of different tones, and then finish this up over the top with our neutral. Now we're going to cover up the very closest part of this. The part that's closest to the viewer is going to be covered up with grass. So we need to really pay our closest attention to the background stuff. Yeah, that's going all right. All right, I'm feeling better about that. I'm looking at the kind of whites for where it's the lightest, which is right in the middle here. So I'm going to get that streaky dry brushed in. Feeling pretty happy about that. Now I'm going to go get some dark, just still on my same brush without washing it, and go in and get my little darks in here, just kind of barely touching it. Okay, and that looks like just about it for the water.